Gotta
What?
come to the showcase. You are.
Go live. For some reason, my LinkedIn is not working, but we'll get it right. This is so cool, man. It's an honor to be able to talk to you again, my brother.
No, the honor's mine, buddy.
Yes,
The honor's
yes.
mine. I'm excited.
I got my notepad here. Man, that is really icky. Rounduppers, greetings, Roundup, real estate Roundup family. Good afternoon, greetings to you. Thank you for joining us today, November 4th. Beautiful day, my brother's birthday today. Happy birthday, my brother Ronnie.
Happy birthday.
Yes, Rounduppers, thanks for joining us. I am Chris Haskins. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. And doing that, I like to host my Monday Masters every Monday. And this week we have one of the masters of creative financing, Matt Lyerla. How you doing, my friend?
Chris, I'm doing great, buddy. Thanks for having me.
It's always good to see you. Always good to hang out with a master, you know?
The master will be here later, I guess. I don't know.
Matt, we've been talking over the past few weeks, and finally we have an opportunity to come together and do some training. You have done some amazing things in real estate. Just give us a little bit of your background before we talk about what in the world is creative financing anyway.
Yeah, man. So I am a disabled veteran. As you can probably tell, I got all kinds. I spent about almost 16 years in the military. And after that, I was a financial / estate planner for about 10 years. So did a lot of that, specialized in infinite banking, which is a concept I also teach when it comes to private money. But
Gotcha.
and then I got into real estate and real estate investing, bought about, as I was featured last time, a couple hundred homes within my first couple of years. And now that's grown probably about double that. So doing real good, man. Excited. Now we've grown the All-In Investors. That's grown and so forth. And enjoying students inside the university, helping other people achieve their goals, dreams, and desires. So it's been fun.
I bet it's a different level of satisfaction doing it as opposed to seeing others do it, Matt. Tell me about that.
Very much so. Yeah. So I taught my whole life and mentored in my last job as a financial advisor. I hired people, developed them. And that was always, satisfying and so forth, and enjoyed it. This is a different kind of deal when you're standing in the kitchen and you get a picture or a text and somebody's just gotten a check or bought a house.
Oh man!
And I tell my wife it's a very, very good feeling. We had a live call last Tuesday night with a new student up near Chicago, and we closed his very first call. Hadn't been in the program a day or two, and we closed the subject to house over the phone.
Wow.
And wrapped it up. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
This is something to me. It does something to my spirit. Because I remember me, and I'm asking you, do you remember yourself before you understood what creative financing was? That mountain. How am I going to buy all these houses?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gosh, I thought it was a joke. There's no way. No, I mean, no different than when you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you're like, what? You're not supposed to save money? I didn't. I'm an idiot and didn't know it.
We don't know what we don't know.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, Matt, it's an honor to hang out with you. We're going to be going over, Matt, I've twisted Matt's arm to give the Rounduppers an amazing deal. And, we're going to discuss that later on in the keynote, so to speak. And we're going to give you that link to get a nice discount as well as the dates for what Matt has to offer. But Matt, let's share with my Rounduppers what in the world is creative financing before we get to all this training and stuff.
Yep. So creative financing, Chris, is simply, it could probably also just be called, non-traditional financing. So it is a method of obtaining a property, obtaining a home. And in my case, I've purchased businesses the same way. using some sort of term, some sort of creative financing that involve no banksters, no loans, no credit, none of that stuff. So, being creative, getting something, quite simply.
Okay. So you want to continue to elaborate, or we're going to kind of go over the things that you'll be offering in Nashville next month?
Whatever you want to do, buddy. We can talk about
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So I just want to know for my rounduppers, for me, I live in the non-traditional world, Matt. It's where I live, and I just think that we were taught to live in this: get a realtor, go to the bank lender, mortgage broker, fill out an application, get on our knees and beg for them to give us a loan, Matt. And I don't want my rounduppers to think that they have to live like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live like that. And especially, I'm sure, probably hundreds of people that listen to you, or thousands, have experienced, especially if they were investing 10, 15 years ago, have experienced when that bank, everything's hunky-dory and they'll give you a sucker at the drive-through until such time they decide just to not give you any more money for no reason at all. I personally subscribe to the thought process, and that's why I did infinite banking, which is a whole other subject, but I never want anyone else to determine what I can do. And I don't care if that's an individual, a business, or especially a bank. A bank is not going to tell me when, if, how I can go buy a house. I'm not going. And then when and if I do own a property and I have equity, I'm not going to go fill out an application to borrow my own money and my own equity. So I choose not to let a bank or anything else dictate what I can do with my life and my portfolio, which is why I went down the creative financing route.
I love it.
One of the reasons.
One of the reasons among many. Matt, tell me when you found out, because people that live in this world, we look the same as people that live in the conventional world. So when did you find out that there is a world that exists where you do not have to deal with banks and you can do this creative financing stuff?
Yeah, as it pertains to real estate specifically, probably about 3 years ago is when I found it. It was June, I guess about 3 years ago. Is when I, doing like a lot of people, getting educated like people, from people just like you, ran across some training and so forth, had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I came home one weekend, told my wife I was going to be a real estate investor. And that next Friday, we closed on a house. So it took me 4 or 5 days after that I bought the first property.
Good Lord, man.
Subject to. Yep. And I've had her on a podcast. She verifies this story. She validates this stuff. Nothing down.
It ain't true unless the wife says it's true, right?
It ain't true. She'll tell you.
That is cool. So what made you decide? Well, I heard you say that you don't want the bank, because some people say, you know what, I'm just going to get a large, maybe a jumbo loan from the bank. Why did you say, you know what, I don't want to do that? This is not going to be the life for me. Because, most of us have, even with my boy Jay Connor, we kind of have an aha moment. For me, it was like, this is what I want to do.
Well, I had that aha moment just figuring out, I'm pretty good at it. I can hear something once and I've got it. And once I went through, but it's like anything else. Once I got that first property and I look at that thing and go, wow, this is mine.
The deed.
I got this thing for free. Well, then it just becomes infectious, man. But it's true. I've gotten literally at this point in my life, hundreds of properties for free.
What do you mean, Matt? Are you telling me people are just deeding you this house? How dare you make that claim that you can actually buy a house without using a bank and not having any cash?
What a liar. Yeah. People that tell me that I never see at the bank doing deposits, but no, I'm teasing. I said that last time. I got to get new jokes. Yeah, man. It's true. It's legitimate. It's been around for long before you and I were born.
That's right.
Carl Keats was teaching this stuff long before we ever came around. And we're in a pretty good market right now. We're still doing a ton of deals, and we're still doing a ton of deals. And that's the other thing with creative financing. Everything right now in the last few years, a lot of your listeners are probably sitting there like, hey, man, I go to the bank and get all the money I want. It's fine. I'm building a house until they cut it off. Then what do you do? Then what are you going to do when you're a flipper? Then what are you going to do? Or you're a wholesaler, whatever the case is. We're moving into an election year. The Fed cut the rate again. They're still talking about quantitative easing.
Lord.
Guess what? I don't care. When I turn on the TV and the news has a red arrow pointing down or a green arrow pointing up for the stock market, I don't care. It doesn't affect my business. It can affect my business, but I've got systems in place to where I'm not directly dependent on what's going on there and what the prime rate is and what if I can get a loan and am I over leveraged. I don't care. Don't want to know. Plus, it doesn't take me 2 months to close on a property and paperwork that thick. By the time most people are closing on one property, I can buy 10 in that time because it's 3 sheets of paper and we move on, or 3 documents and we move on.
And you're done.
Yeah.
Matt, a lot of my audience would love to know, why on earth would a seller sell you their property with these creative strategies that you're doing, Matt? Why would they do that?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing you have to understand, does it mean that I would sell my property this way? No, because that's not a fit for me right now. Now, can an outside circumstance happen to where it would?
That's
Yeah.
right. You're right.
The first thing you have to understand and you have to ask yourself is the person that you're talking to is not in the same financial situation that you're in. And that works both ways. Chris, you and I are not in the same financial situation or life situation, et cetera, with anyone.
Yeah.
So a reason could be a divorce. They want to sell because of divorce. These are the most common ones. Divorce, built another home. Now they're paying two mortgages. The other one didn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're over leveraged. They owe more than the property is worth. I guarantee we're the only ones calling then, right?
Yep.
They've moved. Their job has moved them. They had to relocate. Those are just some of the common ones. There's a bunch of them out there, but it's a life situation. We call it a distressed property.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean something's wrong and it's falling apart. People misunderstand that. It just means there is a reason that property needs to sell. It was inherited, and the person that inherited wants nothing to do with it. So those are just some of the most common ones, but there's others.
So you're based on what you're telling me, these people almost need to sell, they're not just wanting to sell.
Yeah. So we categorize leads into 3 different classes.
Okay.
One is I'd like to sell. Hey, we see you have a property for sale. Yeah, I'd like to sell it. All right. Then we have, then we have the need to sells. Well, yeah, we got this property. We really need to sell it. And then we have the sellers that say we have to sell. We have to. So the like to sales, we probably don't have a deal. The need to sales, we're probably 50-50, maybe have some more negotiating to do. We're looking for the I have to sell.
0%.
50-50. And then much better, 80% or above, probably 75% or above. Yeah, we have to sell.
Got to sell 50 or higher.
Yep.
And those distressed situations fall into the have to sell, Matt?
Yeah, most of them. Now, some distressed situations can still, they can say, hey, we're going through a divorce, but we can't take it over subject to or something because both of them have to come off the deed or so sometimes the motivation is there and they want to do it and they can't. That happens,
Mm-hmm.
But when they utter the words, we have to sell.
I like those.
Behind on the mortgage could be another one. I can think of a bunch of ways or a bunch of reasons somebody would have to sell their house.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So you've got some training coming up, Matt. I am excited. Matt has actually asked your boy to come down there and actually train with you, Matt. I'm honored.
Yeah, you're the man. I'm honored to have you, buddy. I'm honored. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the dates for this thing, Matt, so I can get my round-uppers? What you got? Give me the dates and the location, then we'll get into some meat about what you're going to be training.
Yeah, so it's December 12th through the 14th. And it is at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. And while you're riding, I will tell you, if you have never seen the Gaylord Opryland Hotel, first of all, if you've just never seen it in general, you're missing out. If you've never seen it during Christmas, you are missing out. And they can go to my website at allininvestors.com, look under live events, and it'll say Nashville 2019. And, there's a video and they can watch everything, and the speakers, including you, Chris, who are going to be there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the rounduppers, we're getting ready to unroll it for you. Me and Matt have been talking about this for about 2 weeks. So the date, and don't forget, if you got some Q&A, I love doing Q&A. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, my roundup family. Put your question in over there. Nashville, Tennessee, Gaylord Opry Hotel, which I've been there. It is just breathtaking. I have never been there during Christmas, but I'm excited to see that also. Now, when they go to the training conference, Matt, this is going to be creative financing. We're going to be dealing with all creative financing at this conference, correct?
Yeah, well, we're going to be dealing with creative, how to get deals, all the different ways you can get a deal. As you know, Chris, my mantra is never have tunnel vision. When you talk to a seller or find motivation, never have tunnel vision. So we're going to go over subject to owner financing, lease purchase options, all the terms, wholesaling, hotel. And then we're going to also talk about Airbnb. We're going to talk about control without ownership. We're going to talk about mobile homes, online auctions, student housing, how to structure your business, how to make sure. But we have an attorney, Eric Yao, that's going to be there. But we also have a social media guru who's going to show you how to stay active and how to find those people on like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, some of those deals. My top student's going to be there, Bobby Cross. Been in the program less than a year, pushing $3 million in real estate under his belt already.
Wow, nice.
He's going to talk about how to get off to a fast start.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going to be an unbelievable. And then you, of course, and I think you're going to be talking about private money and where to find the money.
That's right, private money. And I also want to do some social media stuff, man. I think the digital footprint is so important,
Yep.
Showcase, a creative finance. I so wish I would have learned, because when I started, it was all about wholesaling. Everybody was just talking about wholesaling, wholesale. I wish I would have learned how to actually own some houses, man, because that's where the wealth is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't give up the goose that lays the golden egg, right? Hey, listen, and I teach taxes alone. These flippers do it. What I save on tax alone, unless they're 1031 in every deal, which they're not.
We're not.
I don't want to chase. I'm not against flip. I just don't want to chase contract. I don't want to chase the plumber that was supposed to be here, and the electrician promised he was going to be back, but he peeled two of his guys off to another job, and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, they net less than I will on a simple non-refundable option deposit on my lease purchases. So, or lease options. So,
good Lord, you're talking. Well, I think a lot of us. Well, for me, when I was a newbie, wholesaling was the shiny object. It was kind of like the newest thing, and now it's so. It was new when I learned about it in 2003. Now it just seems like it's still new for a lot of people too, Matt.
Yep. Yeah, it's. I think flipping and wholesaling is the sexy thing out there.
Sexy thing.
It's the sexy thing to do. And that's great, man. There's a lot of good programs, good people doing it.
Yeah.
But it should be one of the directions you go. If I walk into a deal and it's a wholesale deal, then I'll wholesale it. But if I walk into a deal as a wholesaler and the math doesn't add up, well, I got to move to the next lead. Leads are hard enough to get as it is. Chris, you know that. I want to be able to put in place the appropriate deal based off the motivation and the why of the seller. Put in the appropriate deal. So I've got, wholesaling is just one of many things I need to be able to pull out of my bag. So
let's talk about that for a minute, man. You talked about that before, about why it is so important to understand why the seller is selling.
Yeah, the why is the most important thing. So again, I'm just you brought up wholesaling, and I use wholesaling a lot as an example. And I get bad feedback. I'm against wholesale. I'm not against wholesaling at all if it's a wholesale deal. What I'm against is saying I'm a wholesaler and I'm only looking for wholesale deals. And then I finally get a lead who will talk to me. We show up. The math doesn't work. So now I've got to move to the next thing. The most important thing I want to do is ask that seller, why are you selling this house? Tell me why. This is a great house, or this is a great property. Why are you selling? What comes out of their mouth next determines if I have a deal and what kind of deal I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't know at all. I get young students that are coming. I'm sure they do this to you, Chris. And they go, Hey, I found this house on Zillow. It's been on the market for 200 days. What kind of deal should I do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why are they selling? Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to them yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what. One, I don't even know if you have a deal. Until they answer that question, why are they selling? Then we don't know if they like to, need to, have to, or the why. And the why is the most. I do 2 or 3 different modules on that inside the university about the why alone. It's the most important. It's critical. Why they're selling. Nothing else matters until you know why they're selling.
I love that one, Matt. Yeah, I'm glad you stayed there for a minute before. I think a lot of even my clients, Matt, I see a lot of us try to think for that seller. I'm like, why are they selling? Almost, I hear them making up stuff, maybe, or try to presume they know what the seller's thinking.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot.
Whether I've talked before about the read the defense.
What do you mean by that, Matt?
Okay, so I was a quarterback in high school. I didn't say I was a good one. All these stats are live now. You can look them up, right? Mm-hmm. So when you drop back, and it's the same way in basketball and sports. Where athletes get in trouble is when they predetermine where they're going to throw the ball. So if a quarterback calls a play and he goes, "I am throwing it over here," usually when they drop back and throw it, they have predetermined what they're doing. A good quarterback comes up to the line and he reads the defense and he goes, "Okay, this is the play we have called. This is where my mind was. But that corner's playing tight. They're in man-to-man over here." And he throws the appropriate pass. It's no different with a deal. If you are tunnel visioned, if you're not reading the defense and you're just predetermined, I'm going to wholesale this property, and then the math doesn't add up, you've lost a lead. You've lost a possible deal.
Mm-hmm. You
have to read the defense. In other words, again, read the why. Understand why they're selling, then put the appropriate deal in place.
I love it.
And guess what? You got to know all those different deals. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert, but you have to know in your mind, okay, based off this information, this is the direction we can go. And what you'll look up and find is what I call lead maximization. You are maximizing those leads that are so hard to get. I talk to so many students when we get former wholesalers, and as we get into this, read the defense and they learn the different strategies, they go, "Oh my gosh, I've passed up so many deals I just didn't know. I didn't know." And some of you probably right now, your wheels are turning like, "Oh my gosh, if I'd have known subject to, man, I probably had 5 of those a month ago."
Wow.
You probably did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you just got to know those different things. Again, I'm not against wholesaling. That's just one piece. I mean, guess what? The economy affects a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So if the economy takes a dip, the banks tighten up, they won't loan money, this person can't sell, you're out of wholesales because you have no one to flip them to because the bank's not going to loan them any money to flip the house.
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
What do you do?
Then what do you do? If you're a flipper, the same way, you've got to read the motivation and the why.
I know a lot of what do you do, quote unquote, for some investors back in 2008, Matt, was go out of business. Some of my colleagues were just,
That's exactly right.
What do we do? One person moved to Canada. I'll never forget her moving to Canada.
Yeah.
She owed so many people money.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're training here, Matt.
So I can move to Canada if I owe a bunch of people money. Is that what you're telling me? I need to write that down.
We're going to give my round-uppers. Matt's going to give you guys a $200, what is it? $200, Matt? $250
discount.
$250. Okay, $250 discount.
And that is 100% exclusive to the round-uppers.
Well, Matt didn't come out of his mouth and say he's going to do that. I had to actually twist his arm to do that, Matt. Thank you. I mean, he's a great guy, but
I have 6 children.
I like to provide value to my round-uppers. Why? Because I love you and I take the time that you spend with me very seriously. So very seriously. Right. So if this is not worth the $250, this is what I'm giving to you today. So what is the code that they're going to use when they go to your All-In Investors site, Matt?
Yeah, so when they go to the site and they click to register, they're going to have to schedule a call. And we talk to them on the phone, tell them, someone will tell them more about, and I take a lot of those calls myself. We'll tell them more about the conference, what to expect.
Cool.
In there will be a question, what is your promo code? They can just type in Chris, K-R-I-S. And if they decide to purchase and attend the event, it will save them $250.
Nice, Matt. I want to thank you for that, my friend. Thank you.
And he did. You beat me up over that. So
I did. I'm here to say I did. Hey, my beautiful daughter. Kids are out early today, and they're off school tomorrow, so daddy daycare will be in full effect.
Nice. Nice. Don't sweat on me, man. You getting hot?
Minnie's lights. Hold on. We having a good time.
Well, while you're gone, I'm going to plug my website. Again, it's allininvestors.com. Yeah, links below. Go to live events, type in Nashville. There's also links there where I've got a podcast, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. So
nice.
It's all right there on the website.
So the link to get to Matt's live event site, as well as all of his training, actually. Somebody I see just dropped here they had a question. They want to just maybe get some training, Matt. What can we offer my rounduppers to get the discount on some of your training? Is that something that we're offering today too, or just the event?
We didn't talk about it, but I'm more than welcome to do that.
I guess we'd have to come on along. Okay, so we'll apply the $250 to the. I don't know. This is like impromptu. I'm putting that.
I tell you what I'll do, just without even thinking of it. I'll give your rounduppers a 15% discount to any of the training that they want.
Okay, so we have to set that link up too, and Matt will get on top of that when we get to this.
Yep.
Take a note for that. That's cool. Somebody just asked that one. We didn't even think about that, Matt.
I didn't.
What are you doing?
We tried to plan it out, but we're just,
What do you do? What do
you do, man?
This is nice. So I will be there hanging out with Matt. Come hang out with me and Matt and some other wonderful speakers. I looked at the lineup. It's unbelievable. December 12th through the 14th. Yep. I'm going to have my family there. It's so nice. Just give us an overall. I know you kind of mentioned it, but just recount, Matt, what is going to be offered there when people show up for this 3 days, this three-day conference?
Yeah. So from our standpoint, everything exactly from start to finish, how I buy a property, exactly how I negotiate it, the why, the different types of terms deals, the different types of creative financing that we use. We're going to cover all of that. If I have to stay till midnight every day and answer questions, I will.
Nice.
I want people to I want you to bleed me dry of questions and get your money worth. Then I've brought in, like I said, special guest Eric Yao. He is an attorney. And you'll be seeing an interview with him on my YouTube channel coming up.
Okay.
He's an attorney out of suburb of Tennessee, Clarksville, but he's also a very, very successful real estate investor. So he's going to be covering kind of where the law and the real estate kind of bleed and intertwine and how to be structuring your business. Mm-hmm. I've got Bobby Cross, my top student. Out of Columbia, South Carolina, is going to be there talking about how do you get off to a fast start, how to implement, how to apply strategies. Mm-hmm. Allison Harpool of Harps and Oaks. Again, she'll be on the YouTube channel here coming up. She's going to talk about more of how social media, not necessarily your expertise with YouTube and things like that, but her expertise is more of the Facebook blogging.
Gotcha.
How to show constant interaction. How to drip on people and get them involved and so forth. Yeah. And that's about as good as I can explain that. I'm an idiot, right? And then this guy named, what's his name? Some YouTube legend. What is his name? Chris Haskins is going to be there, and we're honored as the primary guest speaker. Now, that's awesome. We're going to be awesome. And I'm telling you, it's going to be an unbelievable event. And our other live events have gone unbelievable. But I cannot overstate the reason we chose Nashville and the reason we chose a couple weeks before Christmas. It is an unbelievable place to bring your family. There's a video included. When you go to the website and click on the information about Nashville, there's a little 5-minute video. Just take my word for it. They have an indoor water park now. It's gorgeous. There's shopping galore. I saw that. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Christmas thing. Yeah. So Matt, let's touch before we get into Q&A. Let's touch this Airbnb thing. Will you be coaching on some of that too?
Absolutely. We're going to cover Airbnb both on homes that you have, and we're going to be. And this is all stuff inside my online university. That's why we kind of call it the university live. Everything we teach we're doing it live.
Gotcha.
but we also teach it, how to do the Airbnb and never own a property. So
distinct those. Could you just give us a framework of how that looks, Matt, for somebody that thinks that they have to go out and possibly buy a house to do an Airbnb?
Yeah. So in fact, yeah, absolutely. So I'll back up a little bit. I just put something out on this on YouTube here in the last week. Personally, I believe right now, today, the fastest way to start cash flowing property is to call a for rent by owner and call a landlord. And I'm explaining this quick and say, hey, I'm an investor. Would you be willing to lease me your property, allowing me to sublease it? I'll take over the maintenance. I'll take over everything. I'll keep it clean, et cetera, and allow me to sublease it. I have a ton of those. Some of them I turn into Airbnbs, which the conversation's a little different. And some of them I just sublease back out. I don't even own the property. I just got one about a month ago. I'm cash flowing $450 a month off of that property. I don't even own it. Some of those I turn into Airbnbs, right? So it's, obviously if I own the property, I can make it an Airbnb. That's my decision. Yeah. But we're talking about subleasing properties from a person who's probably tired of being a landlord and saying, look, I'll take over the maintenance. I'll make sure it's clean. It's going to be a short-term rental, so it's going to be professionally cleaned several times a week. I'm going to install a security system. I'm going to install a thermostat that's digital and I can control. All those mad boyfriends and girlfriends that show up at your houses now at 2:00 in the morning and beat on the door. Those aren't going to happen because they're short-term rentals. I need good ratings on Airbnb, so I've got to keep these in immaculate condition, and I'll just direct deposit you a check every month. Does that sound fair?
Wow.
That's the conversation we have. You don't even have to own the property. But here's the beauty of it. It's also, I can go on and on. It's also for those ones who say, well, I don't really want to, give you, sell it to you, owner financing or something, but I'll lease it to you. So a lot of those we get with the lease option, and I just tell the landlord, look, let's just date a little bit, and maybe we can get married later. So in other words, after a year of subleasing that property from them, if I'm paying on time and making it look good, you'd be surprised how often that a year later or so forth, you can go back and go, hey, do you just want to go ahead and take me out? Because you're still having to worry about the taxes and insurance. What if you just kind of hand that over and I'm going to pay on time?
Wow.
You just kind of date
the deal.
Absolutely. Yep.
The deal after the deal.
Yep. But yeah, so we're going to be teaching all that. Absolutely. In depth. I'm going to give you handouts from how to do the Airbnb, what to say, what script to use, down to on the door, on the cleaning closet, what to have the people clean in the actual sheet to put on the door. So we're going to give you everything. And it's that way for all the courses. So it's really in depth.
So you're telling me I don't even need to own a piece of real estate to get some monthly cash flow?
Absolutely not. And I think it's the fastest way. No lawyers, no nothing. You just get a lease and you're done.
Wow.
2 sheets of paper. You're done. We do it all the time. All the time.
Yep. Me too, Matt. I guess I want to just paint I'd like to stay here because I think that, Matt, as you're coming into the industry, how long have you been into the, it's amazing what you've done in such a short amount of time. How long have you been an investor? Real estate investor.
Less than 3 years, probably.
So you don't even have the memories of not being able to control a house and rent Airbnb. That doesn't even exist. Or was this popular when you got in?
Was what popular? Control without ownership?
No, I know that I'm talking about this Airbnb strategy, if you will. Was it?
Not to my knowledge, but that could be because I just didn't know. So it wasn't prevalent in my knowledge. No.
Well, I don't know. For me, it's like I'm just thinking back in 03, 04, there was no Airbnb. There
was definitely Airbnb. When I started, I knew what Airbnb was, and I had used it, and VRBO. I knew what they were. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay, so you knew.
I just don't know if this strategy was popular. I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Strategy. Okay, gotcha. I'm just thinking. I'm rewinding. I'm thinking how hard. My point is, I'm trying to figure out, is it easier to make money now as opposed to back in 2003, 4, and then the mentors that we have back in the 90s and the 80s? Have they gotten easier, Matt?
All I know is I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easy. It isn't like it's not, you don't just wake up one day and have 100 properties. I don't want to make it seem that way.
Gotcha.
However, especially with creative financing, and if you don't have tunnel vision, I get asked all the time, what's the secret? Well, the secret is, first, you just got to get off your butt and do it. You just got to do it. Quit thinking about it, do it. The second one is quit limiting yourself to one type of strategy.
Gotcha.
I'm a flipper. I'm a wholesaler. Well, man, you're leaving money on the table. Your strategy should be, why is this person selling? Let me put the appropriate deal in place because I can make money doing any of it.
Well, I'm thinking when we bought houses in 03, 04, Matt, we were thinking the cash flow was whatever that tenant could bring in. And if it was a two,
I can understand that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, and if it was a two, I'm thinking about the Airbnb that I have now, a 2-bedroom, which can make over $3,000 a month. A 2-bedroom in my town back in the day was $700. The max was $700, 2-bedroom, 800 square foot. You with me? I'm just saying that's the framework of the business. There was no way to have go to a website, put an address up there, and have people all over the world see it and just come and stay. I mean, it just did not exist at that time. Yeah,
you were making money $200-300 a month at a time.
At the max, man. I mean, and that was a great day.
Yep.
$200. Now we're talking to making dude, an Airbnb to make $1,000 a month is not even. That's just an average month, Yep. And
the rule of thumb is 300% of what the rent would bring.
300%, yeah. So 800. That's right. That sounds about right for mine.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know you were going to be teaching that. That's just, that tool. I'm new to that. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's creative financing, buddy. Of course, I'm teaching it. Anywhere I can take money from a bankster.
If you're just joining us, I'm hanging out with Chris Haskins, hanging out with Matt Lyerla. We're talking about creative financing. His creative financing showcase is the link below in this video description. Just hit the button to open it up. And it's December 12th through the 14th. Matt's going to be covering a bunch of stuff. He's got a bunch of visitors there, all in investors.com, and I will be one of the guest speakers as well, going over a bunch of stuff. Matt, thank you for doing this, man. It's just an honor to be on here with you.
Yeah, you too, brother. Same here.
So
I seen a question. Where am I from? I am from the greatest basketball state known to man. Go Big Blue, UK. That's right. Going to whoop Michigan State tomorrow night. I'm based out of the bluegrass state of Kentucky. So
I never forget when we played y'all. I wear this hat a lot, right? People would think it's UK. It's UK. We played y'all one time. It was just a massacre.
Wasn't it in Madison Square Garden?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was. That was like last year. It was last year.
Yep. I try to forget that. Let's see. We got some Q&A, and then we'll get you out. Excuse if you can hear that. I've got some brickwork being done. I'm sorry, Rounduppers. Sorry about that. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, Roundup family. Daniel, hey Daniel, he wants to know where can he find the properties of those type of motivated sellers, Matt?
Yeah, so a bunch of places. I mean, a lot of the traditional places. Zillow, I won't rename. Let me tell you where my strategy differs, I believe, is I target for rent by owners. And quickly, the reason I target for rent by owners is when you call a for sale by owner, they either want to sell or they don't. Maybe you can do what we talked about, creative. When I call it for rent by owner, I go, ring, ring. I see your properties for rent. I'm an investor. I have I'm not going to be living in your property. Would you want to sell it? If they say yes, I go down that road. If they say no, I say, well, that's great. How many others do you own? And they tell me, well, listen, I find properties at a discount all the time. Can I add you to my buyer list? So with one call, I can get a buyer or a bunch of different ways I can have a seller. All right. So I find for rent by owners, less people are calling them, and I have so many more options I can go in, so many more directions I can go.
That's sharp, Matt. I'm going to hope that you're going to be covering some of those scripts that you're going to be talking to these sellers at the showcase.
All of it, absolutely.
And the good thing about you, Matt, I think even when I first met you, you're very candid, and the way you talk to people is very matter of factly. There's no sugarcoating it, and I think what a lot of my audience, what I would like for them to see is how not only what you're saying, but how you say it to me is just so important.
Yeah, and we're going to do some live calls. So and I'll also throw out there, the people that are going to attend, we're going to shoot out stuff. We're going to have people calling to get you deals during the conference. So you're going to turn in. We're going to have you bring lead sheets. And I have students and some staff that are going to be making calls trying to get you deals while you're sitting in class. So
nice. That is cool.
And I'm going to do some live calls. So
we're going to see you in action.
That's right. It could go good or bad, but I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I can tell you
that. Faye wants to know, what is the cost for your Nashville event, Matt?
Yeah, so the Nashville event is the full price is $2,500, and that includes everything. But obviously there is a discount for everybody with the promo code Chris, KRIS, when you go to schedule it. And it's going to be an unbelievable event.
Nice. Good question, Faye. Christina. Hey, Christina. She wants to know, what do you use for your skip tracing, Matt?
Yeah, I don't do a ton of skip tracing. I have LEO access.
Tell us what LEO is, Matt, for our audience that don't know.
I say LEO. I don't think LEO is the acronym anymore. I can't really tell you what it is because I ain't supposed to have it. But I have access to TransUnion. Let's just put it that way.
That is so bad.
But I'll be honest, I don't skip trace a lot. I've done some on PropStream and stuff like that, but I don't find a need to skip trace very often.
I think a lot of the gurus now are on this cold calling kick, Matt, to motivated sellers. Go ahead. I'll let you elaborate on that.
No, I'm not against it. I just I don't teach go buy a big list and just start skip tracing them and calling them. I have a different method. I think people need to be teaching how to have conversations with sellers, not ways just to get leads in. You can get 1 million leads in. If you don't know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, it doesn't matter
You're done.
how many leads you have. And if you think you're just going to call a VA, a virtual assistant, which we're going to teach a course on that, by the way. Okay. If you think you're just going to do that and they'll pour in, that's not going to happen either. You've got to learn the why, and how to talk to that seller. That's the most important thing. So, great question.
I agree. You got to be able to talk to people. I mean, you're done. My mentor used to say, Chris, this is a people business. This is a people business. If you do not know how to talk to people, you don't even get into the business.
TLO, Donovan, that's what it's called. I said LEO, law enforcement officer. I'm a former CID agent. See my MP stuff? TLO, thank you.
TLO. Rick, we went over that one. Yes, he's going to go ahead and make that change after our webinar. He can't do it while we have him live here, but he will give you the $250 if you just want to get one of his courses.
Yep.
Janelle. Hey, Janelle. Nice picture. What's a good situation to do a subject to? I'm presuming she's talking about with the seller.
Yeah, so a good one is the seller. Let me give you an example. The one we closed live for a student last week. Their house had been on the market. I call houses on Zillow that have been listed longer than 90 days. This one had been on there, don't quote me on the number, but 100 and something days. We call them. Why are you selling? Well, we tried to list our home with a realtor. It didn't sell. We're still sitting here. They were in Chicago. We're wanting to move back to Indianapolis, where we're from. My husband and I just retired. The house isn't selling. What if there wasn't a lot of equity in the house, maybe $8,000? So even if they did sell it with a realtor, it was going to be a break even, possibly cost them money. So we simply said, well, what if we just relieved you of the debt and it allowed you to move back? Yes, absolutely. They took the deal. So we took it over subject to, nothing down, taking over the payment. So there's an example of one we did last Tuesday night.
Nice.
Great question.
That's a good question.
I wish I could take a picture like that.
That is, man. We need more estrogen in the business. I'm begging my ladies to get into the business.
I know it.
We need them. We need y'all in here. So go to the link below, round up. We're going to continue with our Q&A. Please forgive me for this drilling. I got the guy working on my brick. Matt, I want to just tell while I have my rounduppers here, be a good steward of what God has given you. You have to be a good steward of what you have, Matt. I remember meeting a lot of investors that went down with the crash before. I met them at Ron's summit last year, and a couple of them said they had large portfolios which they didn't take care of, and they eventually lost them. What about you, Matt? Are you a big proponent of being a good steward of what you have?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, we're always looking for ways to give back. I have 6 children. I have an autistic son.
Oh, wow.
So our new passion is autism and everything and those kind of things.
Wow.
Probably later on the Special Olympics, things like that.
Gotcha.
My wife and I gave to the NICU unit at one of our local hospitals, and I'm on a foundation there that we give money. So absolutely, you can't outgive God. It's going to come right back to you. So,
can't outgive it. Be a good steward. Oh, he wants to know where you were. You already said that.
Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky.
Faye, what's the best case scenario for a wholesale deal? What would be the best case?
Ton of equity in the house, and they just want to get rid of it, and they'll take. The best wholesale deals. Hey, we've got like a ton of equity in this house, and yes, we'll give that sucker to you for 20 or 30% after repair, and they'll give it to you on a contract. That's the best case, I think.
Good answer. You'll be hearing me mute my microphone a little bit. David, Matt wants to know. Hey, David wants to know. Can you briefly tell us your strategies, presentation / prospectus? You talking my language, David, on acquiring private money for your deals. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one. I can tell you, out of the hundreds of houses I own, I've never borrowed a dime. So I'm gonna let you take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never borrowed any money. That's why I got you talking about it. I brought in an expert.
Okay, David. Yeah, I live in a world. Unfortunately, it's crazy you asked me this. I have 2 loans left on my real estate, and I'm done. 2 loans, which I'm having to go and turn tax returns in today, which I'm embarrassed to say, but I want to be transparent. I still have some loans out there. But I got a bunch of houses now that I have private money with. So for me, what I'm able to do is, since I paid my houses off, I'm able to go put liens against my houses and borrow private money at any time that I want. So I don't have to actually have a deal coming to get the private money because I've already got free and clear real estate. But yes, you better have a prospectus, and I will give out that. I'll give a huge discount. If whoever comes, will give you a crazy discount on my prospectus. I will teach exactly step by step. I think mine is 30 pages. You better have some before and after pictures. You better have a lot of WIIFM. You better be talking that language. What's in it for me? What's in it for the lender? And the biggest thing I could tell you, Brother David, is your posture. Like, I don't go asking for money. I offer an opportunity for people to invest with me. And if you want to seize that opportunity, cool. If not, I'm moving on. And I love it when they may say no now, but then they say we built a few houses and then we flipped a few houses ever since we talked to them last. And then they say, damn, this is real. You're the real deal, because there is a lot of shysters out there, a lot of shysters. So yeah, so you better have a prospectus. You got to have one, and I'll offer that at the matter of fact, yeah, we'll give that at the showcase. That'll be cool. Ning Huff, what is the ideal location for Airbnb? That's going to be a Matt one there.
Yeah, I mean, my one is you'll learn you have to make sure Airbnb is allowed in whatever area you're wanting.
That's
but
true.
The best location is the one that's going to be profitable. Obviously, I think the book answer for that would be, bordering the ocean or coastal type regions. Vacation regions and things like that would probably be the book answer. But I'm going to tell you, I have Airbnbs in this little town I live in. Just happens to connect on an interstate. And I've seen them building a lot of hotels. Well, guess what? You don't need to spend a lot of money on research. If you see a lot of hotels going up, somebody else has already spent millions of dollars in research for you.
Yes.
Put up Airbnb. They're needing housing. Here's the trick with Airbnb. Where I get most of my Airbnb tenants is people with pets. They can't stay in a hotel. We allow them to stay in a hotel, or we allow them to stay with their pets for a little extra cost. So I get a ton of pet people.
I do too.
Because they can't stay anywhere else.
We're charging $25, Matt, per pet. What are you charging?
Yep, same way. I $25 per pet, and you'll learn you upcharge for everything. They're going to pay it. We leave them a bottle of wine that they get charged for. They pay the cleaning fee. They pay everything. So
that pet thing is crucial because I too am a pet owner, and that's the first thing that I look for when I'm going to stay somewhere. Matt, do you accept my little dog?
That's exactly right. Yep.
Good answer. Yes,
we do in most of the Airbnbs. Yep, and we've got about 40 or 50. So
I thought you were looking for some stuff in Arizona too. I remember are you still looking for that? Or are you not going out there?
No. We actually are working on a 20 house deal in Arizona as we speak, as a matter of fact. So.
Got you. Susie, you can't find Matt's website for the conference. The link
put it
is
in here.
below.
Yep.
The link is
Allininvestors.com.
Susie, just go to the link below. You might have to open up the video description, but if you go below, you'll see. I put the link. Let me make sure.
Nope, it's right. Yep, it's right.
Allininvestors.com and just use that code.
Yep, it's good.
Working. Okay. Susie, sorry about that. Just put the link. Go to the video description to come hang out with me and Matt. Whitey, hey, Whitey, I have a seller wanting to sell and have made some repairs. That's always good. They have at least 75% equity. What is the best exit strategy?
Well, my answer to that is always every situation. Your exit strategy and mine may be too different. I'm not hard pressed for if I'm not hard pressed for cash, I'll hold it every time. But if you need the cash to do something else or pay a bill, then maybe your exit strategy is to list it and sell it. Maybe it's to wholesale it. It doesn't. That all depends on your situation and what you need out of it. I think is the best way to answer that.
Are you telling me, Matt, that there is no cookie cutter course that one person can take to make all real estate deals come to magic that's going to be perfect for me?
Yep. Same reason I don't listen to Dave Ramsey. Blanket advice.
Terrible, man. I'm glad you're being honest with my rounduppers because there is people ask me, I get these all the time. What is the best? I need to know so much more about you.
Yep.
But Whitey, that is a good question though, because if I look at this, I don't want to sell anything where I'm at now in life. But if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I was selling everything, So I think Matt answered that. I think that's a good answer.
Yep.
Flo, hey, TransUnion skip tracing service. Oh, TLO. Okay, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they got me.
Matt, we're coming after you. Richard. Oh, yeah, Matt, you've only been investing for 3 years. Matt, what was your first type of deal?
Subject to. Subject to deal. Took over a single family residence. And by the way, we teach commercial land deals, you name it. We do it all. But
gracious.
Yep. Single family was my first deal, subject to, nothing down. Still own it today.
For my rounduppers that may not understand what a subject to is, Matt, go ahead and give us a 30-second overview of what that is.
Yep. Subject to is simple. It means we go to closing. At the end of closing, I or my company owns the property, but the original mortgage stays in the seller's name. That's why it's called subject to. It means we are purchasing the property subject to the existing loan that's already in place. So that seller, that mortgage is still in their name, but I own the property. Nice.
That is my favorite way to buy, Matt. Is that one of your favorite ways to buy?
Probably more than 90% of what I own is subject to.
Oh man, unconventional, unlimited wealth building.
Yep.
The banks don't have to. They don't get to tell you how to do it. Matt, will you be teaching some of this stuff?
I'm going to be teaching all of this stuff, Chris. Thank you for asking. Yeah, and literally step by step, exactly how to do the deals. I'm going to peel back the onion. You're going to see my deals. You're also going to see the stupid mistakes I've made.
I can't wait to see those.
Several. Yep. I have screwed crap up royally. Please don't do some of the stuff I did. I mean it.
I think to me, I like seeing the stuff that you messed up because that way I know what not to do.
Yep. And I've got my probation officer coming to say a few words as well about that. But no, in all seriousness, it's the good and the bad. Hey, look, this ain't all sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies.
Oh, heck no.
Especially the moment you have one tenant. I don't care how it is what it is, man. It gets frustrating, and those are like you said, I'm transparent, man. I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad.
Martin, hey Martin, he wants to know: do you do subject to deals on land deals, Matt?
Yeah, all the time.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Cassandra, hey, just signed the subject to deal today.
Awesome. Nice.
Women are getting to praise God. We need some estrogen. I'm sick and tired of all this testosterone rolling around here.
Very nice.
Smitty never bar down. Yep, Smitty will be coming down there with us. Faye, what is my fee for being a trustee? I'm offering trustees services now to my Roundup family. Matt, just because I'm sick of people putting houses in their name and saying, I don't have anybody I trust to be my trustee.
Yep. Don't do that.
So we'll charge her $150 as long as I don't have to do a bunch of research. If all I do is sign and put the docs back into FedEx, it's $150 for now.
That's a nice service, man. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let me ask you, Matt, are you using, how do you take title for your real estate?
Land trust, which I'm the trustee of. My LLC is the beneficiary of the trust, and I'm the managing partner of the LLC.
David, unfortunately, okay. David can't come to the conference, but I'll be providing a discount for my prospectus outside the event.
Yes.
I guess Matt will. I don't know if I'm going to do mine. You probably have to be there. I don't know. You can email me, my brother.
I'm sorry. I thought he was talking about the course. Oh, he said practice. I see. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Matt's he will give you, what is it, 15% off?
15% on any of my courses, and that's good from here on. That has nothing to do with the event, the live event.
Gotcha. Mark said, "What's up, Rounduppers?" On the subject two, Jermon, hey brother, the subject two you gave for the Chicago homeowner, do they already have a home in Indianapolis?
They do not. And what you're really probably asking me here is how are they going to get another loan, which is probably what you're trying to ask me.
Probably.
So here's the cool thing: when we set these subject twos up as a wrap, it is a wash on their debt to income. So they'll be able to go apply for a new loan, and if their mortgage is $850, they have a deed showing where it was sold to a property company like ours. It is a wash on their debt to income, and it won't affect them getting a new property or getting a new loan.
Matt, just give them 30 seconds about. I know we use the terms, we throw them around lightly amongst investors, but you said a wrap note. Just kind of give us what that is.
Yeah, so I explained that really simple. A wrap note is more of the protection of the seller, because the wrap note is what allows it to actually to show that someone else in the document is responsible for the payment, and that's what will allow it to be a wash on the debt to income.
Wash.
Yep.
And Jamon, if when he says wash, is the income it's coming in will cover the outgo that's on that debt.
Yep, exactly.
We got to get, I know Matt's time is limited. Roundup family, don't forget we are here offering Matt's Creative Financing Showcase December 12th through the 14th in Nashville, Tennessee at the Gaylord Opry. Beautiful hotel. Matt will be there coaching and training. I'm going to have a spot on the stage with private money, and use the coupon code Chris to get a $250 discount on the entire event.
Awesome.
Let's see. A few more questions, Matt. I know you're getting out of here. Cassandra. Oh, she's a believer of subject two. Praise God.
I can stay as long as you need me to, buddy.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep. Rado, I don't know. Rado Garcia. How do you present the paperwork for signing the contract for a subject to deal? Do you explain it, or do you have the title company explain it?
Yeah, title company. I never use a title company. You can. I use a lawyer, but I don't need them to explain I'm explaining the paperwork because I got to get it signed before it ever goes to a title company or an attorney. You have to have a deal before you ever go to there,
Yeah.
So how do I present the paperwork for the signing of the contract? Yeah, I present it. I explain to them what the deal is. I tell them the pros and the cons. Look, here's the good thing. I'm going to relieve you of this debt. I was assuming it. I'll relieve you of this debt. It's going to be a wash. What is the bad that could happen? Everything could be going hunky-dory, and a year from now, the bank call says your mortgage hadn't been paid. Could that happen? Yeah, it could happen. Do we try to make it a practice of our business? No. But I want to tell you the good and bad. So, we're just, I have an elephant in the room policy. Get the elephant out of the room.
Bring it up quick.
Here's the good and the bad, because they're going to Google it.
Just bring it up.
It's going to be right there. So just get it out of the way. If you got a stain on your shirt, just say, hey, I've got a stain on my shirt. Let's move on.
Nice.
Just get it out. So.
And Rado, I'm sorry, Garcia. Not everybody's going to do these deals, brother. So
right.
just, and when I'm going in to talk to people, I'm like, look, this may or may not be for you. I just said it from the very beginning.
Yep.
Oh, Jamon. Quelly, hey, what fees are involved with a subject to deal regarding closing costs, Matt?
Just there's no fees, just whatever it costs, your attorney's fees are to close. That's it. There's no additional fees. Your normal, filing fee at the courthouse and all that. And your closing fee. The only fees you're used to seeing is that stack of paperwork banksters bring into it, and that is all banksters building new buildings and offering you free checking. So,
yep,
you're not going to have to deal with any of that crap.
You're
And
telling me, go
you
ahead,
can
Matt.
close as fast as that attorney can draft the paperwork.
You're telling me, Matt, there's no origination fees, appraisal fees, credit report fees when I'm doing a subject to deal, man?
Zero. No,
This can't be
I
true.
wouldn't give a bank the satisfaction, man.
You're bringing me back till I first learned about subject to, Matt. You're bringing me back. How do you decide, Hey, Ja, how do you decide if you're going to flip a property or hold it to rent it?
For me personally, I don't flip. So I guess a wholesale could be a flip. Back when I was a young investor, and if I got $10,000-$20,000 real fast, and I needed that to eat or whatever, well, that would make my decision pretty easy. If I needed the money, where I'm at in my life now, I'm going to hold those properties. Unless it just has some astronomical amount of equity and it doesn't make any sense, I'd 1031 it. But that's how I decide. Again, it's whatever's going on in my life, my finances. Then,
gotcha.
My advice would be, if you need to flip it to put the money in your pocket, then flip it and put the money in your pocket. If you don't, then don't.
Yeah. I think it's so simple advice. I think a lot of people are like, do I need them? I think we need to kind of discern whether we need it or not.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my money working as much. I'm like, I want to keep the money working.
Yep. Your money should work a lot harder than you do. God, I hope mine is. Whew.
And it can work a lot. Well, we're not born with that knowledge, though, Matt. I mean,
That's right. That's right.
My mentor said, Chris, your money can work a lot harder than you. Upstate New York. Oh, will it work? Will this work in upstate New York?
Of course, it work anywhere.
Work anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, the biggest differences for what states work is more on the sale, not really on the buy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You mean this will work in my town, Matt? No, I didn't think this worked in my town.
Yeah. Well,
hey.
Are there houses in your town? It'll work.
Faye said you spoke about David Ramsey. What are your thoughts on Lou Brown?
Is that the guy that travels with Ron LeGrand, or the Hey Yeah, or is that who that is?
Hey Baby. He does the Hey Baby thing.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him to comment, to be honest.
I thought I had this stuff many years ago. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's doing now, but it was good back in 2005 when I got it.
Look, I mentioned Dave Ramsey because I was a financial advisor, and Dave Ramsey to a financial advisor is like the Antichrist. I mean, and I don't like Dave Ramsey to a financial advisor. We hate him. I used to say at the end of the year, I would put financial advisor on my taxes, and Dave Ramsey puts entertainer. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nikki, hey, I've heard to not do a subject to deal until you have more experience. What made you confident, Matt, that you were able to do a subject to deal on your first deal? That's a good question. That is to me, it is an advanced strategy, Matt.
To be honest, I guess by accident, I didn't even know what wholesaling was till after I probably owned 40 houses. I didn't even know what wholesaling was.
Oh,
I just think I kind of got in it backwards and just didn't know it. Here's what I knew. It seemed easy. The conversations were easy. They either did it or they didn't want to do it. I don't know if it's really an advanced strategy. I think people are just scared of it because it's different.
Yeah.
Wholesaling seems simple, but let's be honest. Most of you, when you wholesale a property, a couple things happen. You're scared to death if you do wholesale it for them to see how much you gave for it, and you don't even want to be in the same room. Can we double close this so they don't know how much I made? Or the second thing is you're calling these people, and you're really not telling them you're going to wholesale the property. You're getting it under contract for a discount. Those people probably think you're buying it, and you're in a little bit of a bind anyway. So yeah. I think wholesaling can be a little more sketchy if you don't do it right, to be honest with you.
Different vantage point for two different strategies.
Yep.
Good one. It's a good question, Nikki. I personally thought subject to was a little more advanced just because you're becoming an owner. Wholesaling, you don't own anything. That was all.
Good question.
Let's see what else. Good questions, Rounduppers. You always show up for you. Make sure y'all hit that like button too. Smash that like button for your boy. Christopher Reed. Oh, my investor wants to know in a subject to what power does the seller have after closing? Can they refinance or do a home equity line of credit or anything with that house?
Yeah, they couldn't. They couldn't do a HELOC because the mortgage isn't in their name. Of course, you could always refinance and put it in your name. You could assume the loan, but I don't think you can do a HELOC.
He wants to know what power does the seller have, Matt?
Oh, the seller.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't.
Other than that, well, I think that's Matt why we touched this a little bit, right? We kind of.
Can the seller refinance a house you own?
Yeah. Yes, Chris. I mean, yes, Matt. That's what they're asking.
Yeah.
They cannot.
Yeah, I would say they cannot.
I think, Christopher, Matt touched this rap note earlier. I want to make sure I'm bringing this around. Matt's giving power to the seller here. He is literally, well, Matt, you go ahead and explain it. You did it earlier, but just because the seller has no power when you do a subject to. Correct. After they sell it. However, Matt does a rap note. He was giving them the power because he has integrity and he has empathy and compassion for the seller. He wants them to make sure that they can have the right credit doing this rap note.
But that's where it ends.
That's it.
Yep.
Gotcha. Let's see what else. Oh man, look at who gave us. Oh man, Paris. You gave us. Oh, thank you for your love offering, my brother Paris. I got an email from you, man, and I need to reply to you. I will reply to that email you sent me. Thank you for that. How much for a one-on-one? We charge $200, man. I don't know do you have a consultation fee or something? I don't know.
Yeah, man, they can go to the website and book a call, and it all depends on what they're wanting, how they're wanting it. But I do have personal mentorships, very, very limited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to talk to them.
Cool. That's Matt's and Roundup. Matt's website is in the video description below. And once again, I got to make sure I keep saying this because people are coming off and on with 100 viewers now. Matt's Creative Finance and Showcase. I will be there hanging out with Matt. Come hang out with us in Nashville, Tennessee, December 12th through the 14th. It's going to be an unbelievable hotel at the Gaylord Opry. Actually, it's where we met. Isn't it, Matt?
It is where we met. That is exactly right.
Yeah, that was cool.
You're taller than me.
So I had an opportunity. This is how this thing has come together, Roundup family. I meet people I get to travel the country, meeting people all around. And then I get to bring them to you so that you get to meet them and you further your financial literacy. It's cool. So, and make sure you use the coupon code Chris to get the $250 discount and come hang out with us.
That is correct.
Guillermo, what's up, my friend? Matt, what are some of the ways you can cash flow from a subject to land deal? That's a good one.
Yeah. Same way you can, you can sell it on terms. So, and then obviously if you sell it on terms, you can sell a piece of land on a lease option, just like you would anything else, or contract for deed, which I wouldn't do, but a lease option, get a non-refundable option deposit down, and then make the spread between whatever you're being paid and what you owe. So, I mean, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same way. Good question though. We do a lot of land.
That is a great question, Guillermo. I think it's the same process, different buyer. Would you say, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, different buyer. And, sometimes with land, you just kind of run into more commercial or residential type scenarios and different things you can do with it. Zoning, which is good and bad. I mean, if it's bad, don't buy the deal, but no, I think there's a little bit of a misconception. Land's harder. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's the same thing. Yep.
Might be easier because you don't even have to have insurance on it. I mean, it's nothing to insure.
That is correct. I just fought a battle about that. We got a piece of land in South Carolina, and they were like, well, what about the insurance? There isn't any.
Yeah. For what,
right? Yeah.
I guess if somebody walked on it and tripped, I don't know. Would you?
We caught an attorney just being stupid. They were used to doing real estate deals and cookie cutting stuff. Okay, and going down a check sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to watch out for that. You got to watch out.
Know
your business.
Yep, unaware. Matt, do you get the tax write-offs for I'm sorry, David Thompson. Sorry about that, my brother. Make sure you guys put your city in here if you don't mind, or your state. Do you get the tax write-offs for the interest you pay on the loan, even if the loan is not in your name? Great question, man. Good one.
Do you get the tax write-off for the interest you pay on the loan, even if the loan? Absolutely.
Right.
Of course. I'm the one paying it. Absolutely.
That's right. I just did a video on that, Matt, 2 weeks ago when I was audited by the IRS, and my auditor wanted to know, Chris, how is it that you are writing off all this interest, but we only have a few 1098 from your lenders? We don't have any more 1098s under your social security number. How are you doing this? So I had to kind of show them. I had to peel back my onion and show them the houses that I own subject to.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'll tell you, if you ever want to learn how to double that, look up infinite banking and how I teach infinite banking, and you'll learn how to take that money out of a cash value of your life insurance. Not only write that interest off, write this interest off, and you'll make money by borrowing money from yourself. So
wow, nice.
A lesson for another day, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could roll some of that stuff into some real estate training.
Yep.
214 Max, how do you handle your insurance on subject to deals, Matt?
So one of two ways. One, if it's already PITI, I just call and have them add me as the additional, or add me as the insured, and they're the additional insured for the current insurance in place. Or I just get my own insurance on the property.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's pretty simple. A lot of times I get that question because they're like, well, if we have to change insurance, won't the bank find out that it's been sold and they'll call the loan? That's usually what people are really asking. And the answer is I've never had that happen.
Yeah, I've never.
All the bank wants is their money and to make sure that house is insured, and that's about it.
They want their money every month.
They want their money.
Wow, look at this. We got another love offering. This is so cool. Jared Spencer, thank you so much. How you doing, my beautiful daughter? Can you have a snack? Do you mean I gotta feed you? These kids eat every day.
Every day. Every day.
Man, you laugh at me, man. Anyway. All right. Can I eat? Wake up hungry, go to bed.
Are we having Christmas this year, Daddy?
Bounce City. Do you close your subject to deals with a lawyer or a title company, Matt?
Attorney every time.
Why is that, Matt? Could you elaborate for my round-uppers?
One of the biggest differences, if something goes haywire, a title company is not going to have to come and defend that or come and show up where an attorney will.
Nope.
Attorney is bound by compliance and E&O insurance and everything else that he's going to have to show up and say, no, I'm the one that signed that and did the paperwork.
Nice.
And when an attorney does a closing, you have to understand, even though you may be using your attorney, he has to represent both parties in a closing. So he has to, if he's the one that did the paperwork. So
both sides.
He or she.
Tanya, hey Tanya, what's up? Tanya and James, Matt. She wants to know, what is your favorite way of finding buyers? I'm presuming subject to buyers because she does a lot of subject to stuff.
Yep. For rent owners. I look for landlords that want to buy more properties.
Gotcha.
And I didn't mention this before. Let me go back because I'm sorry. I always get asked, how did I buy so many properties so fast?
Yeah, I did.
Again, for rent by owner. Remember when I was saying you can go two different directions? When I call a for rent by owner, if he says, no, I don't want to sell, I make him a cash buyer. If he says, well, I'd be willing to sell, the next question out of my mouth is always, how many do you own? Because guess what? Very few landlords only have one property.
Mm-hmm.
So if I find a for rent landlord that's motivated, now I've opened up a lot of properties and I'm buying packages. So
nice.
I want to mention that.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. I remember that. Mark, Chris, my lawyer said in New York, subject to owner financing really doesn't work.
That's because he's a lawyer and not a real estate investor.
I love it. I love these, man.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it when somebody says, you can't do that. Like, who the hell are you?
Yeah. Then your next question is to be, oh, okay. How many houses do you own? Basically.
Do I have any idea why he is saying this? He cannot be wealthy. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't want to take. I'm telling you, it's because they're an attorney and they just don't know. They think, I could go on and on about why people take money advice from people who don't have any. I don't understand why people always go, well, I asked Dr. So-and-so about what he thought about this investment. Well, what in the world does Dr. So-and-so know about real estate? Well, he got money because he's a doctor. not because he knows anything about real estate. Neither does an attorney. 95% of attorneys have no money. I'm telling you, they're making $50,000 or less a year. They just don't know, or they're telling you this because they just don't know how to do it, and they don't have a lot of experience doing it.
Yeah.
Find an attorney that will, or find a title company that will. It's why you and Chris is in the ministry he's in, to get you educated. You know, Bobby Cross is going to talk at our event, and he's done a podcast where he literally called me from an attorney's office at a closing one time. And I said, yes. He goes, hey, man, I'm at closing. My attorney just put a form in front of me to personally guarantee the loan. Should I do?
Oh, my Lord.
He tells this story. I said, Bobby, look at your attorney right now. He was in the closing, guys. I said, look at your attorney and ask him how that benefits you. And he did. He goes, hang on, how does this benefit me? And the attorney goes, well, it doesn't.
Wow.
Tell him you don't want to do it. You better know your stuff. Don't assume they do because they're an attorney.
Nice. Yeah, Mark, I like to say, and I don't want to stay here long, we are living and walking and talking in the world of the wealthy, Mark. So if you're not living, just because somebody is an attorney doesn't mean they're necessarily wealthy, or that they not speak wealthy words. So just keep that in mind. You know, you're walking into a line. Matt, I don't know how many percentage of the population, if we were to take a poll, that even understands this stuff, and period.
Oh, less than 5%, if that. And that's less than 5% of investors would understand it.
Wow.
Realtors wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about. Banksters wouldn't know.
Don't feel bad, Mark. I mean, me and Matt have both been up this year. I mean, I fought. It took me 5 years to find my people that work my title company and attorney. 5 years. Cassandra, hey, do you do a home inspection if you have equity in the property? I guess when you buy it.
I've never done a home inspection. Even if I have, never.
Big dope. What would happen if the bank wanted money at the sale of the home or a year after the deal? I don't understand that one.
Well, the bank couldn't just randomly ask for more money because they sold a home or want some of the profit. Could they call the deal? Yes.
Call the loan.
Call the loan. I'm sorry. It's a subject to clause. It's really a due on sale option. Would they take the option to do that? What would happen is if the bank actually did it, and I know that Chris has had Bill Brunchick on here before, but or William Brunchick, if you actually did it, you basically have to do it. I mean, there's nothing. If the bank is actually going to call it, it's going to go back to them, and you could be liable. You could be liable for probably returning the non-refundable option money to the tenant buyer. However, the tenant couldn't lose the lease because when Trump took office, he signed back into I can't remember the name of the law, but he signed back into where whatever lease is in place when a home gets sold, the tenant has the right to finish out that lease. Not the option, which is why you may be liable for the option deposit. Unless it's expired, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But the lease, yes. So,
but big dope, I wouldn't worry about the bank, and you can always sue banks. Don't forget, you can sue the bank.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Tanya, she wants to know, what is your most favorite way of finding your sellers, Matt? I think you talked about that briefly.
For rent by owner.
Yep, for rent.
Yep. And I have click funnels in place and stuff too, where I'm nationally looking, but for rent by owner. If I'm a new investor, I'm calling for rent by owners. I'm not spending a dime on a list, a dime on a yellow card. I am calling for rent by owners.
Nice. Venerage. Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's a cool name, yeah.
Venerage. Will a subject to work if the property is listed with an agent?
The answer is it could work, but I'm going to tell you right now, every time I've ever had a real estate agent involved in one of my deals, I didn't get the deal.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, and nothing against them, just they don't speak investor and we don't speak realtor.
So, we look alike, though. We just don't live in the same world.
No. Yeah. Yeah. They look like a duck, but bark like a dog. So
yeah. I think they're just not trained. That's all.
Smitty's just elaborating on that question earlier.
Oh yeah, he's got okay. Definitely don't just take the word. Yeah, it doesn't work. I love it. Paris, what do you feel? Oh, Matt, Paris, what up, Matt? Thank you so much for your love offering, my friend. What do you feel the scope of your market is going to look like for 2020?
I think it's going to get better. I personally think we're moving into a election year. It's obviously crazy with this impeachment, just all the mess that's going on. Historically, the market's going to slow down because the market, they're not going to know what's going to happen, who's going to get elected. Banks are going to tighten up a little bit. So guess what? It's going to make more subject to and owner finance deals available. That's what I personally think.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to hold on to some cash come 2020 and as we go into the summer. I'm slightly nervous. I've got enough real estate to last me, but I'm a little nervous. I don't, Matt has a lot more real estate than I do, but I'm thinking I still like to be liquid. I'm going to move to more getting liquid around June, next summertime, just to hold it on to it. I hate being nervous, man, because scared money don't make no money. So for me, I'm going to be doing, I have several houses now that we own that we're going to tear down to build Paris. So we already own those free and clear. So if I have to liquidate those, no problem. But I'm still going to be doing building. I don't mind doing that stuff. I enjoy it.
Yep. Would depend on the deal. I mean, but all mine are buy and hold. So people got to live somewhere. So I'm not too.
Well, I kind of took that as a given for us.
I think you're more talking about investing money long term in new projects and stuff. Yeah, and I don't do that. So
yeah, Matt's holding everything, which is to me. I mean, I love listening to the older investors. Holding is where the money is. We make money on what we own, not what we do. All right, the Backwoods family. How do you feel? How do you deal with insurance? Okay, we covered that one.
Yep, he's right. Yep.
What options, Jared? Hey, Jared. What options do you have when the house is free and clear?
Owner finance.
No, let me finish. And I want to refi without using banks. You already answered. Oh, you want to refinance without using a bank? Private money.
Yeah, that's the only option you have. Yeah.
Private money. Shit. Either you're gonna use the bank's money or some OPM, other person. That's what I did. What is it, Jared? That's exactly what I did, my friend. Don't forget Roundup as I'm continuing here. We're finishing up. Don't forget to go to the link in the video description below. Matt, you can point below right in here. You can come if you'd like to come hang out with Matt and I, December 12th in Nashville, Tennessee, at his creative financing showcase. Going to have some great information to move you into 2020. Matt's been the finance guy since. How long have you been a finance guy, Matt? Good gracious.
Over 10 years, yeah.
So he's been doing that, and both of us together do real estate over 20 years. Plus the dates, December 12th to the 14th. And don't forget to use the coupon code Chris. You'll get $250 off registration, and we will both be there. It's going to be nice.
Yep, going to be awesome. You already answered that one.
Yeah, he did. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Gaylord. Well, they have a Gaylord in D.C., which is just.
Yeah, I've stayed there. Yeah. In Maryland, yeah.
JH, Chris, I've learned so much from you. Thanks. Yes, thank you. JH, thank you so much, my friend. My mission is so big to help. We're helping millions. We're approaching 50,000 subscribers. Matt, Jamal, what? Oh, he's talking to somebody else. They're talking amongst themselves.
Talking in class.
Lo Smith, how is the paperwork different when doing a wrap versus a subject to?
One piece of paper. You do a subject to, then you just do a wrap note, an additional piece of paper.
Yeah, wrap it together. Ja, how do you find a good attorney? Or will any real estate attorney do? Oh, Lord.
Well, any real estate attorney can do the paperwork. How do you find a good one? You just, like anything else, you have to be clear, explain them what you're doing, how you're going to do it. Are they comfortable with it? Have they done it before? And if they haven't, find someone else that will.
Yep. For me, the answer would be ask a lot of them. I went through so many of them. Rodo, I love Chris. Well, I love you too, my brother Rodo. We're speaking in the world of the wealthy. I'm telling you, you have to tell yourself that. I'm talking wealth language. Not a lot of people. I promise you, most people you meet are broke. They're gonna be like subject to. You can't. You mean I could buy somebody's house and keep the? You can't do that. You can't do that.
Less competition.
I'll be like, you know what? You can't do it. I'll see you later.
Exactly.
Mark Jones. Mark, thank you so much for your love offering. Thank you. We are here working for you, my brother. Subject, the knee huff, the subject to work for your personal home, Matt.
I got my personal home subject to.
Yeah, me too.
I told the story. They asked for $50,000 down. I countered with no, and their counter was okay. True story. True story.
You're looking at two men that live in subject to houses. We live. This is the world, man. I'm like, this is where we live in. I mean, I can't say it any clearly.
Knee deep.
Knee deep. And it's not that different. I mean, it's not that it's that exciting. It's just different.
It's just different. It's just different.
Chris and Matt, did we see the article about Airbnb tightening the rules about house parties after 3 people were shot at a Halloween party last week? Wow.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, look, there. Airbnb, like Chris said a while ago, Airbnb's new. I mean, it's still new.
Yeah.
And Airbnb is the Uber of the housing world, and they're still figuring stuff out. Things are going to change. Cities are going to tighten. Look, it's taking revenue from the cities. They don't like it. So a lot of them don't like it. So that's why you have to check. I would just say it's like anything else. It's not going anywhere because it's public and it's worth too much money. It's not going anywhere because they can afford the lobbyists to keep it around. You just got to keep up with it. But no, if it changes, guess what? You can always do something else with the property.
And you got to adapt. One thing I've learned, Matt, the only thing that's constant is change. That's true. Right. Sounds cliche-ish, but that is true. Paris, you can create a legacy of wealth for your families. That's true. Matt Face says you're amazing. Out of 200 properties you won, how many are mobile homes? How do you get the boots on the ground for out-of-state properties? That's right. You do that, Matt.
Yep. I actually own I own over 100 mobile homes. I actually own a lot more than 200 properties now, but I think I own about 120 something mobile homes. How do I get the boots on the ground? So what I do is I'm fortunate now because inside the university I have students all over the country, and it's allowed me to forge. But before that, what I would do is let's say I was looking at a property in Phoenix, Arizona. I would look up real estate agents and find a young real estate agent in Phoenix, Arizona. And I would pick up the phone and say, hey, look, I'd love to have a relationship with you. I'm an investor. I live out of state, but I'm interested in a property at 123 Main Street. Would you be willing, because at some point in the future, if I get this property, I may be willing to list it or sell it with you. Would you be willing to go by, take pictures of it, look at it, et cetera, and shoot it to me and do the comps? They'll do it every time.
I remember you doing that before.
You include lockbox, the whole 9 yards. So they'll help you do that. And you can pay them a small fee. You can pay them a couple $100. So, but you can hire out, you can Craigslist ads for people to put up bandit signs or for rent or, for sale signs in your yard. I mean, there's a ton of ways. Again, we teach all this inside the university and the live event, exactly how to do it. But yeah, I own property in probably 13, 15 states now, I'd say.
Gracious, man. Just a beast. Carlos, what are the different exit strategies on a subject to? Oh, I like that one. That's a good one, Carlos.
Great question. Yeah, just whatever you want to do. It could be I prefer a lease purchase option.
Me too.
It could be an outright sale. You could flip the thing. Mm-hmm. You could subject to deal. Just because it's subject to don't mean it's not a wholesale deal or a hotel deal because you already own it.
Yeah.
We can just rent it.
I wouldn't, but you could do that.
We can make it student housing if it's near a university. We can
room.
Yeah.
Move into it. Shit, you can move into
it. That's right. Send my mother-in-law up there.
Christine, hey, forgive me her ignorance, but is it subject to assuming someone's mortgage, Matt? I'll let you take that.
Yeah. So a little bit of a technical term here. The answer is it assuming? No. Assuming is an actual term from a bank, which means you're going to assume that loan and have to qualify to move that loan into your name. It's not assuming a loan. It's subject to the loan. So it's subject to the existing loan that's already in place. Assuming means you actually got to qualify for it.
Gotcha. There you go. We're not qualifying for nothing. Oh, good question, Kristen. Sorry about that. Vinay Oh man, this is my territory. If I could ask a question about Roth IRA and LLC owned by Roth IRA to grow money tax free. Yes. Do you hire a manager or use a relative to manage that LLC since you can't legally manage it? What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, well, I mean, a broker's got to manage the account, but yeah, I would say the answer is yes, someone you trust, or again, you can still put it inside a trust and hire a trustee or somebody like Chris to handle that.
Yeah, you can do that. Matt, I'm just an old school guy. You know, I've been around before this whole LLC IRA thing. Like they didn't even exist when I started in 04. All we had was the self-directed Roth IRAs.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept that. I don't have an LLC managed one, but I would definitely keep myself as far away from it as possible.
Well, you know, I was a registered rep for 10 years, so
Gotcha.
Out of our age. But I don't think that's right. I think you can manage the LLC. You can't manage the IRA if it's inside your LLC. So it's a little bit of a. I understand what they're asking, but I like to use somebody like Quest or somebody like that to manage it. But yeah, I personally use cash value and life insurance to do all of this. I don't use IRA because with cash, that's what infinite banking is. Cash value and life insurance, I make more interest. There's no penalties. I never pay taxes. I can get to the money anytime I want. If I make $20,000 in that deal, I don't have to put it back in the IRA. I can keep that money if I want. Nice. Still don't pay any taxes. I use infinite banking, so I don't really use
paying yourself.
Still good.
Is that kind of like paying yourself the interest, Matt?
Yes, it's part of it. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Part of it. All right, gotcha. Vinaraj, I hope that helped. Al J was attempting to buy mobile homes and condos with HOA. How many mobile homes on land or majority of them have a monthly HOA? That would be for Matt.
That just depends on where it is. You know, there's mobile home parks in coastal areas that would blow your mind how beautiful they are, and they do. Some don't.
We get them here.
I don't have any with an HOA.
We got them here, yep.
No.
Mark, would you recommend buying out of state for a newbie? Or is it in my best interest to learn from a local property first? Prices are ridiculous in New York City, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I've got students in Manhattan, Jersey, Long Island. I think that's where I'm a little different. Now, again, I don't want to give blanket advice. The answer is whatever you're comfortable with. But if it were me, no, I live in a town of 30,000 people on a good day, right? There was no way I was going to let my business I can do this business anywhere with technology and with techniques that you can use. So I would say don't be scared to do business in other places because it's so much easier than you think. But do what you're comfortable with.
Gotcha. This is cool. That was we got them all, Matt. We got them all. Round up families before we wrap up here and let Matt give us a final overview of what his creative financing showcase is about. Make sure you hit that button, subscribe below, and hit that bell so you know every time we go live. Like the content and share with any other investors that you think can possibly benefit from this information. Matt, I will see you December 12th through the 14th, Nashville, Tennessee at the Gaylord Opry Hotel. The link is below, my rounduppers. Just go to the link, allininvestors.com if you can't see the link below. Use the coupon code Chris to get your discount. You're only going to get it through the Roundup family, I promise you. Matt, final thoughts on your live event next month. I'm excited for you, my brother.
Absolutely. And Chris, once again, thanks so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it, brother. You got a great thing. I tune in every time I can. It's wonderful. Bunch of great content. You're very consistent with it, and I appreciate what you do. And I know a lot of people get a lot out of it. A lot of my students tune in to what you're doing, and it's great stuff. So I just want to say thank you for what you do because you do it for the right reason. And whether people know that or not, I do. So I'm glad that you do what you do. But yeah, I'm so excited. December 12th through the 14th, like you said, Nashville. Go to the website under live events. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, find out about other training and podcasts that I have. We're going to teach from start to finish exactly how we get these creative financing deals, exactly how to structure them, exactly what they mean. Chris is going to be one of the main speakers. Eric Yao, an attorney / investor, is going to be there. Allison Harpool is going to be there. Social media. My top student, Bobby Cross, is going to be there from Columbia, South Carolina. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be awesome. We have a lot of success inside of our program. And if you are not all in, then don't come, because you got to be all in. This is not a lukewarm deal.
Yeah. That's sharp, man. I'm telling you, round-uppers, this man here, ever since I met you, man, I think I told you this, I have adapted to do it now. Let's do it right now. Let's get whatever needs to be done. Let's get it done right now. And I'm here to tell you, brother, that has really helped my career. This has been the best year for me since I started business, my friend, back in 2004, man.
Congratulations, brother. Good for you.
Yeah, let's do it now. I got to ask you before I let you go, where did you get that do it now philosophy? Because I believe that philosophy determines so much, like Jim Rohn says. Philosophy would determine your future.
Yeah. I heard a term a long time ago said procrastination is the sign of a loser.
Procrastination is the sign of a loser.
Yep. Procrastination is the sign of a loser. And in the military, we think you have to right then. If you say, because your life can depend on it in 16 years, hey, if we say move, you have to move, because it could be life or death.
Wow.
Yep. But while others are waiting, I want to have it done. So
nice. Yep. Rounduppers, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. You guys always show up for your boy. I mean, it's just an honor to be able to pour into you and raise your financial literacy. Matt, I'll be talking to you soon, my friend. I'll see you next month.
See you in Nashville, brother. Go Big Blue.
Go to that link below, guys. All right. Love you, Roundup. See you soon. Peace.